to be honest. Tuesday, right? Tuesday?
Today's not Tuesday. Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Wednesday the what?
The April 15th, it's tax day. It's this.
April
So
15th.
people who are watching this, the second it comes out, we did this on less than 24 hours prior.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, I mean, when's the last time I saw you?
The last episode we recorded was the second time Dre came in. So I can't even tell.
How many episodes have you done in between then?
Other people of other shows?
Collectively.
Only my show. Only the
Okay.
Chris Konya show, and it was by myself. I didn't even Zoom or Skype people in.
Yeah.
It was just me in the solo studio, just talking to nobody for 20 minutes.
It hasn't slowed business down though, right?
Yes. Yeah, this whole pandemic, nobody wants to, not many people want to come in and do this social distancing. We're well more, way more than 6 feet apart. But people are still scared. So I get it. I get both sides. If you want to quote unquote risk it, or if you don't, if you just want to wait till it's all over, that's the beauty of podcasting.
So should people be put off or appreciate the fact that we took some time out to, to show up for work?
Well, I haven't come. This is the closest we've been since you've been here for the last half
I came
hour.
in through the side, actually.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I think that. I know for one, I'm running out of stuff to watch on all the major stuff, television, Netflix, and Hulu, and even my favorite YouTube shows. So anything fresh and new, I like to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not a rerun guy. I don't like to watch the same movie more than once. But so any brand new content, especially if it's not completely overdone with coronavirus and COVID-19 and the same thing everybody else is saying, if it's just something fresh that people are talking about, I'll watch it. And
sure.
I think that I'm not the only one on that.
I think okay, so two really, really important questions that I was like dying to ask you. One, if you've watched Tiger King already, right?
Of course.
What are your thoughts on it?
It's a freak show, I don't know. I definitely would have watched it either way. People are saying that it was only so popular because everybody was quarantined. It had everything you wanted in any kind of entertainment. It had these crazy people who are extended versions or exaggerated versions of themselves.
Yeah.
It had hate, love, marriage, divorce, death, destruction, jail, hitman, everything. It had it all.
It's a movie waiting to happen.
That's what I'm saying. It had it all. So you could trash it all you want. You could praise it all you want. I get it. I would have watched it again. You know what I mean? I don't regret spending how many hours watching it.
Are we forever changed? Is there a normal we go back to?
I'm honored that you think that I have the answers to all these questions. I'm honored. I feel great right now. No, yeah, we're forever changed. This is going to be a never forget moment. Getting on a plane was never the same after 9/11, no matter where you lived. If you lived half an hour outside of New York City like I did when it happened, or if you lived in California, getting on a plane has never been the same.
Right.
I don't think shaking hands will ever be the same. Coughing in public will ever be the same. Bumping into someone, stuff like that. I think people grabbing a door handle, flushing a public restroom fixture or toilet or urinal or whatever, forgetting to wash your hands. None of that's going to be the same as it was before all this. So we're definitely going to change. I don't think it's going to be chaos forever like this, but I think that everyday things are going to be at least slightly different for a very long time.
I think it's been kind of good that we've been able to like slow things up a little bit. You know what I mean? Where, some people are behind on things, but if you've budgeted correctly, you've been able to catch up on others.
Yeah.
Where your life doesn't seem as cluttered anymore. I was one of those people.
Yeah,
where my day to day was I was ping ponging all over the place. Where now I'm kind of like, okay, everything's in order. I'm ready to get back in my routine now. Whether
you were super busy or you had, I don't know. Yeah, you were super busy with a bunch of different things or just one thing. I read that somebody had this philosophy on sports parents of kids who are athletes, 3 or 4 sport athletes all year round, where it's just your routine and my routine combined times 10, to stop and slow down and spend time with their kids. That's forced. They might rethink burying their kids in sports, for 10 years of their life, if not more. So it's interesting that you said that because I just read that and trying to figure out what you need to fix in your relationship, what you cherish most about your relationship. hearing about other people who are fighting because they're home together all the time,
Right.
and then valuing what you have with your significant other if you live with them, and going, wow, this could be, we might fight over who does the dishes, but this could be way worse. Like people are getting divorced and breaking up and stuff like that. And like for me, for example, my girlfriend and I we've yet to bicker. We really have. I mean, the usual stuff where
Knock on wood.
yeah, knock on wood. Right. We're not perfect by any means, but it's nice to sit back and be like, hey, at least I'm not them. When I see, drama on Facebook or social media, it's like, oh, cool. She is my friend. I can tolerate being with her. And on the flip side, she could tolerate being with me. Literally, I hate that word, but literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for a month now.
We are there now.
You know what I mean? You're really getting tested right now.
Yeah, it's make or break. It's make or break for some relationships.
It could be.
I find myself trying to find different stuff to do. Like I'm kind of like, I've read 3 books.
Nice.
I've gone through Netflix. You're like, oh, okay. But like, I'm trying to get into painting.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see what comes of that.
All this, what do they say? The idle hands of the devil's playground.
Yeah.
When you have all this time in the world, you tend to get in trouble. Now, It's a little skewed right now because you don't have a lot of places to go. You can't go to the bar at 3 p.m. and drink your face off till the wee hours of the morning, the next morning, and then drinking that leads to whatever else. Something scandalous with another person or drugs or whatever. So it's a little skewed, like I said, but you could be eating up all your days, that you're home, scrolling through social media, which is completely mindless and pointless. Or you could, I've done that. I've spent hours on social media where I had to like step outside my own body and be like, what are you doing? You're wasting all this free time that you've begged for years. And then I'll go like hit up this app I have. It's called Babbel, where you can like spend a half an hour a day to learn Spanish or something. Just something that makes you better. You know what I mean? Instead of
crazy?
Worse.
I started doing sign language. There's a girl in my building who is deaf, and she's like teaching me like sign language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. Something like that to better yourself. You know what I mean? It's hard to do, right? Because right now you think you have unlimited free time because we get used to that fast, right?
Yep.
So, but you're going to wish you had this time back when next time you're grinding out 11, 12-hour days.
I don't want to be one of those people.
You're going to wish it,
what I mean?
or you're going to be like, no, I took advantage of that time.
Yeah, I want to have maximized it.
Right. Right.
It's nothing but free time.
I feel great right now. I know that's kind of a pompous thing to say because people are literally dying and they're sick.
That's
and stuff
good.
like that.
I feel like people need to hear somebody say something like that.
I feel great. I'm happy. I'm grateful that I'm not sick. I'm grateful that I have the internet. Like, I don't want to get too philosophical here, but this is not the worst time for this to happen. We kind of lucked out. We have a lot of tools to use to get information that we want, right? If you're into reading the updates every day and you want to really be educated on what's going on currently, or we could use that same tool, which I'm referring to, the internet, to completely distract yourself from that. Like there not too long ago, we didn't have the internet. You'd have to call one person on the phone for hours to kill your time, or wait for the newspaper, or wait for 5, 6 o'clock, or 9, 10 o'clock for the news to come on, or 10, 11 o'clock, whatever. I'm happy. I'm not sick. I'm grateful that I have all these tools to do whatever I want. I could, like I said, I could be fluent in 1 or more languages by the time this is over.
That's a fact.
You can't complain. You can't complain. If you're not sick, your loved ones are healthy, you're pretty effing lucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do your research.
You know what I mean?
Come up on something new.
That's it. Or stretch every day. Get into yoga. Maybe you hate yoga, but try it. Maybe maybe you'll love it. Maybe it'll change your life, how you think, your physical condition. Do push-ups. Set yourself, even if you simply set a challenge for yourself, whether it's physical or mental or spiritual or emotional or whatever, at least you're going to know, you're going to be able to check boxes off in the yes, I like this column, or yes, I hate this column. And you're going to really at least grow as a person in a few weeks. It happens that fast.
Are you throwing a birthday party?
What's that?
Are you throwing a birthday party when you get out of here?
Yeah, my birthday was April 7th, and we didn't do much, my girlfriend and I. Speaking of experimenting, we did, I don't smoke pot. I drink, I like my whiskeys and my cocktails and bourbons and beer and stuff like that. I'm not a pot smoker. I think it's because my parents did it in front of me as a kid a lot.
Okay.
And nothing traumatic there. It's just they did it, and your parents aren't cool when you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. You're like, I don't want to do anything they're doing. So if they think that's cool, I think it's kind of geeky. You know what I mean?
That, yeah.
So I'm just never got into it. But I'm like, okay, it's April 7th. I'm not going to be able to go anywhere for my birthday. 31st birthday, nothing crazy. So I'm not missing out on much. And you know what? And we had a trip planned, my girlfriend and I, to go to Cali.
Yep.
That was going to be kind of the birthday gift. And so that got canceled, obviously. But I did get my hands on an edible.
Nice.
Cannabis edible. I don't know. I should know this because there is a cannabis podcast here on the Rochester Podcast Network. But some kind of edible that really sent me to the moon, man. I had that. I got up and I was like, I am not okay. I'm looking around. You know, we didn't go anywhere. I shut the breaker off to the stove, so we didn't try to cook or anything crazy. Burn down the apartment. But it was an out-of-body experience. There's video of it. My girlfriend has. I think I took too much to enjoy it. I think I got to the I don't want to say overdose, but I got
Cross the threshold.
I got to the level where you don't want to be ever. You know what I mean? It's just like out of control. Can't control your thoughts. You're breathing and nothing. You feel like
what a better time to do it. You got time to just sit home and veg.
Yeah, it was nice and safe. I recommend if you're going to try it, don't try it at a party. Get it from a reliable source and make sure you have nothing to do for at least 12
I've been
to 20
told it's
hours.
more of a body, you get really like relaxed.
I'd hate to give you advice on it because I can't compare it to, people who smoke pot all the time or smoke weed all the time. Probably have a different opinion and comparison on it. I have nothing really to compare it to. Didn't feel like I was drunk. Just felt like I was watching myself exist. Like if I was looking at my phone, you look at your phone and you see your phone. For some reason, I looked at my phone and I was looking as if I was watching somebody text on a phone. Like I was looking. My point of focus wasn't my cell phone and the screen and scrolling in my thumbs. My point of focus was from my shoulders down. I felt like I was zoomed out of life watching it. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's what we did for my birthday. We'll probably get together and do a little happy hour once everybody can get out again. But
I feel like people are still going to be hesitant. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day about that. Like even when the government says, "Okay, everybody go back to what you were doing," a lot of people are still going to be like.
My guess is they're going to do the reverse of what they did on the way to quarantine. So I think that they're going to be like, okay, we can go back to 50% occupancy at restaurants or bars or whatever that they did on the other end, and then full occupancy, and then so you know what I mean. It's not
in stages, right?
Right. Kind of wind it back, just kind of like how we wound it in. You know what I mean? We reeled it in, so we're going to let it out the same way. Not just, hey, everybody can go party again. Let's go to Coachella and let's do flea markets and public market and party and stuff like that. I think it's going to be, okay, no masks. Okay, all work is essential again. Okay, 50% occupancy. Okay, now we're back to 100%. And we got over this.
It's so weird being out in public and then seeing like everybody wear these masks.
Yeah.
I know they deemed it necessary now, and I totally get like all the reasons why, but that's not something that like in our normal society we're just going to be used to seeing.
No, that used to be weird, right? I don't know if anybody watching is from the New York City area, but I'm sure most of your listeners or viewers have been down there. You see and I'm going to say what I've seen. I'm not categorizing, I'm not being racist or whatever, but you'd see an Asian person wearing a mask. Like typically, most of the time in my life, I saw somebody wearing a mask that wasn't in a hospital.
It was like their thing.
Right.
Kind of like,
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's everyone, right? And I don't know. As of at the time of this recording, I think this week or anytime you're watching this really, as of this week, at the end of the week, everybody, if you leave your house in New York State, you have to wear a mask. That's kind of what I heard on the radio over here.
What kind of makes me feel weird is seeing like on social media is like everybody's like making their own, and I get it. Your business is your business, but like everybody's coming out with their own version of the mask now.
That's funny, isn't it?
Where there's like logoing and there's like, are we gonna have like a Rochester Podcast Network mask?
That's not a bad idea. There's people taking advantage, and in a good way, in a business way, of making custom masks that are funny. It's teeth or whatever.
Health wise, what are those masks doing though? Like,
well, at first it was okay. Stop hogging all the masks that actually work. The N95, I think it was. Stop hogging all these masks because these are the only ones, if fitted properly, will prevent you from spreading or getting the virus. Right? There's a specific mask worn a specific way, and now everybody has to wear anything they could get their hands on, a handkerchief, a sock, a bra, nothing. Yeah. Why is that so important now when before it was only a specific one?
Or now there's filters in them and how long those filters are supposed to last you. You know what's crazy? I didn't even know those surgical ones only have like a life.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, of like 72 hours or something like that. So I'm
I
like
saw
I thought this was like a 24-hour.
I saw a video. I don't know if weeks ago, and I'm gonna hold up for people only listening. I'm gonna hold up it's a sticker right here that as has on the studio table. This guy in a video held up. He had 5 or 6 different masks, and he would hold one up in the sunlight, and you could see when you're watching the video, he had an aerosol can of hairspray or whatever, air freshener, and he would spray the mask, and it would show how much of that spray goes through the mask to the other side. And he'd be like, "These are the difference in the kind of masks." And on the bottom of the screen, it would say a B72C mask or whatever, and it would show the spray going all the way through. Then he would put it down, pick up another one, pick up another one, pick up another one, until eventually he got to the one mask that's supposed to work, and like none of the aerosol went through the mask. So it's very specific on what kind of mask you're supposed to wear for it to even do anything.
That's so crazy.
Right?
I ordered a few of them off of Amazon maybe 2 weeks ago, and I can expect them like next month. It's like the first week of June or some shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a month and a half.
So those things, it's like big business now.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And then a couple of my friends who like have, clothing lines are like doing masks too. And I'm like, hey, like,
It's not a bad idea.
as long as we're donating some of this, some of the
can I
profit,
get one?
you know what I mean?
Can I cut the line?
I think it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm in Wegmans and it's like just lines and lines. And then Wegmans is doing this. Have you been in Wegmans?
Yeah. Not since they started what you're about to say.
They're hurting us. You know what I mean? Like cattle, like where you got to go certain.
Oh, really? Oh, the aisles are one way, right?
Yeah.
You can only go one way.
Yeah.
Damn.
How long is that going to last?
Like I said, they're probably going to wean out.
We're progressively adding more and more to the restrictions, aren't we?
Yeah, I wonder if we're at the peak yet. Are we at the peak where we're going to go back down the hill? You know what I mean?
We're mid-April.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not peaking...
What else can they do, though?
What does peaking look like? I mean, a permanent, like I mean, not a permanent, but like a stricter... where cops are now driving by with their bullhorns. Hey, get
writing tickets if you're not.
house.
Yeah,
you know
if you're not in between the grocery store.
It could be that bad,
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm enjoying being home and stuff like that, but it's not the end of the world. This is why it's important. Okay, I'm going to get this message to your listeners and viewers. I don't have everything figured out. I made a lot of mistakes. I made lefts when I should have made rights in life, financially, emotionally, relationship-wise, just like the next person. But this is why I believe that you have to start at home. Like spend your money and invest in where you're going to lay your head every day.
For sure.
I have this beautiful loft apartment in downtown Rochester. It's on the 6th floor. I wake up in the sky every day. I literally pull my head up and look, and there's clouds or a sunrise or some buildings. And it's one of the best places to be, I think, in Rochester, where we live. As far as there's a lot of times, when I lived in a shitty apartment with 2 other dudes and my friends, but it just gets kind of clustered. I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to go out, but I'm gonna go out because I don't want to sit in the house all day. I'm at a place now where I could sit in the house all day. It's beautiful. I have my bar set up if I want to have a cocktail. I have the big screen TV. And I didn't always have it like this. You know what I mean? I didn't always, but I knew that when we moved into this apartment, I'm gonna make it a home base for when I want to choose this place over the bar or over going out.
Yeah.
So if you're at that stage where you're looking for apartments or you're wondering why you're not happy every night because you have to sit in the house all day, think about where your home base looks like and why you're unhappy with it. Like build yourself, either buy a house or get an apartment or get a setup somewhere where you're happy to be most of the time, because it really is beneficial to your mental state to have a home base that you love. And that's being proven in for me in this quarantine thing where we have to be home most of the time.
Yeah, you want to be happy at least waking up
you want to
where
be
you
pumped.
are.
Like if that's what you should strive for. You want to be pumped that you're waking up in your dream apartment or dream house or with the person that you want to be with or whatever. You know what I mean? The same money doesn't buy happiness, and don't be materialistic, but to a point, it sure helps to wake up in a king-size bed, in a 1,000 square foot apartment with a big screen TV where you're like, I like being here more than the pub down the street or the club or whatever.
Even though we can't wait to get back out.
I'm not saying I don't want to go out. Not saying I don't want to go to happy hour.
Can't wait to go back out.
No. I hear you. I can't wait to go out and not have to do my own dishes. Like that's the first world problems, but it's nice to go to a restaurant. So how are you feeling though? How do you feel about all this?
I'm good. I mean, monotony's been set in for me. I'm no introvert, and I tell people this all the time. I'm not one of those people at all where I'm like, well, I'm home all the time anyway. Like, no, I was never home. I didn't like being home. I would wake up, brush my teeth, take a shower, my gym bag's ready,
Yep.
and I'm gone.
Uh-huh.
And I'd see my house again 10, 11 o'clock at night, ready to do it all over
Yeah,
again.
see, well, that's right. I mean, that's, you know, that you're self-aware. So it must be tough right now for you.
So I get a lot of FaceTime calls and a lot of, checking in from people that I used to see on a daily basis that I don't
nice.
even like, So that's cool. But like I'm starting to think, because again, I'm a forward thinker, so I'm thinking, what is our summer looking like now?
Yeah, well, you can't control that, right? You just got to wait and see. It might be a summer of work because you're spending money right now that you shouldn't be, or you're trying to take out of your savings to pay your bills or whatever. So it might be not the summer that you look forward to, but they might know things that we don't know. I'm sure they do. They being the government and the head people in the medical industry and stuff. Can't control it, man. You got to just find something to do every day. That's hopefully 51% productive and 50% maybe blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're 51% every day in the plus side of, doing push-ups, learning a language, redoing your website, researching a skill that you always wanted to learn, brushing up on whatever, calling people in your family that you haven't, called in a while, like stuff like that. If you're 51% in the green, you know what I mean? Then I think you should aim for that every day, and don't worry about 3-4 months from now because you can't control it.
I wonder if, what I'm going to look up, if podcast listening has gone up since all this started,
Yeah.
have more, there's got to be statistics on that by now, where are more people listening to podcasts now that they have more time to.
I hate to hate on people, but I hear from a friend of mine who's an avid podcast listener. He said that a lot of podcasts are trash right now because they're just talking about, by the time it gets down from the president to the network TV shows to, people who make it funny, people who make it interesting, blah, 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 the average person doing the average podcast, you regurgitating that information that, the coronavirus or the COVID-19 information, nobody wants to hear about it anymore. They want to escape it. So if you're doing a podcast right now, even though we just did, we did a version of this content, I think our own version, and I thought it was really good. Don't talk about it or make it funny or, make it personal at least. Like, I can't make it as funny as Kevin Hart by any means, but I could make it personal by saying I ate my first edible during the COVID-19. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Make it personal.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be better than the network heads, and you're not going to be better at making it funny than and it's all people are talking about.
I think we're pretty solid on our network, though.
Yeah, of course.
I think we're doing okay.
And we're local. We're Rochester proud. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Well, I'm ready to get back out. This is like this is one of those things where I feel like they'll write about it in history books.
Sure.
And how we got through it and how we managed to not kill one another.
I can't wait to tell my grandchildren that I got through a global pandemic by watching a homosexual tiger trainer on Netflix.
That's how we did it.
Can't
that
wait.
is how we did it. It will go down in the history books as such.
Yeah.
How's your girl doing?
She's good. She's working and she's not working because she works for a week or two, then she goes on furlough from her company. But her company is a great company that's growing and they're doing everything they can to keep everybody employed, minus, putting people off for a week here or there, and she's collecting unemployment when she's not working. So everything's good. She's just going crazy being home like the rest of us.
Now, you guys have a cat, right? Is that the only animal you have?
Yeah, it's her cat. We don't have a cat. She's got a cat.
She's got a cat?
Yeah, she's got a cat. It's $25 a month for that cat to live there. Start
Mine
pulling its
too.
weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That cat should be on fans only, doing some crazy, doing some weird freak fetish stuff.
That's funny as hell. I love my cat.
Good.
She's kept me company, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like she's gotten more used to me than I have of her because I'm never going to get used to her stomping on my head at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's why we put her in the living room.
Not cool.
No,
you lock her out of the room?
Yes. Just when we're about to fall asleep.
Does she not like that?
She got used to it.
Yeah, my cat doesn't like closed doors at all.
No?
Like, she gets really like...
Doing the...
Yeah, she gets
pawing
weird,
thing.
dude. Starts meowing at the door and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
She's not about it.
Come on, you're not out of content yet. That you're trying to go deep with your cat and relationship. You don't sleep on YouTube either. There's plenty of highly produced shows on YouTube, just like this one.
Yeah.
Plenty of stuff that I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but I watch all kinds of YouTube. I watch all Hulu and Netflix and that uncensored, uninterrupted shows. You know what I mean? No commercials. I watched Fox for some reason the other day. A sitcom or something came on, or an advertisement for one, and I'm like, nah, man, I could never go back to watching just network television. It's just so
it's watered down.
It's formula, it's cookie cutter. So don't sleep on YouTube. Highly produced shows on YouTube that are built to compete with TV shows and network shows that it's half hour long. There's a storyline they string together. Don't sleep on YouTube. Don't look at YouTube as like
fiend now.
Don't sleep on YouTube like it's your 12-year-old nephew in front of his computer playing video games. It's not like that anymore. There's highly produced content on YouTube and Facebook and social media.
I'm always thumbing through it. The podcast and all that stuff on there. I love looking through it, watching other people's stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Just like this one. Just like this one. This one's doing well. A couple hundred views on YouTube out of nowhere is doing well. Believe me.
Yeah, and for me, when I look at those kind of like analytics, because I really don't. I know what it means at face value, but like I'm trending upward at least.
Good, I know.
Where every episode does better than the last
That's
one.
good.
That's all I really care about.
That's all you can ask for. I mean?
As long as every episode is doing better than the last one, it kind of like carries everything else along.
Yeah, you have some good guests.
But I dig it.
You had them on. You have some good guests in the lineup. And thanks for having me somewhere in the middle here because, not everybody wants to come out, and I do 2 or 3 other podcasts besides this regularly, and it was fun to be on this one. It was fun.
Oh yeah, he produces my show, by the way.
Yeah.
We got through that.
We got an introduction. We never did that introduction.
This is my producer to my show, Chris Konya.
Rochester Podcast Network, rochesterpodcast.com. We just put up a store where you could buy merch. You could buy hoodies and shirts and leggings and
out here
coffee mugs and really represent. It's just me. Put a lot of money into this 750 square foot facility. If you want to produce your own podcast, rochesterpodcast.com/host. We're doing it. And you were one of the first shows to get produced in this brand new studio that we'll be in for 5 years. And
love it. Forever linked.
It's kicking ass.
You know what I'm saying?
It's kicking ass.
Diet Cola Poppy on Instagram. Baby, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 6 will be on the way. This episode drops tomorrow at 12:04 actually.
Right.
And
every Thursday.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Big things.